These are the 5 things that every Christian school administrator must do on their spring break.
This episode of the Christian Principles Podcast is brought to you by the Herzog Foundation. And as always, the thoughts and opinions expressed within this episode are those of your hosts and not necessarily of the Herzog Foundation. Welcome to the Christian Principles Podcast. I'm Matt George.
I'm Mark Zonkel. Tonight, you're going to walk away with 10 things, but there'll probably be some crossover. So we're safe saying there will be at least 5 things presented this evening that every one of you blessed Christian school principals, Christian school administrators, Christian school head of schools must make sure that you do over your spring break. Now, perhaps it's possible that this is hitting you later than your spring break, earlier than your spring break, but it is what it is. Get ready for next year. If you have a spring break, that's true. The snow may have melted it all away, as they say. But we have for you our top 10, because only 5 apiece. But I imagine there's going to be some serious crossover, at least in the general nature of things. Matt, anything you want to say before we get started?
I'm just really excited to find out if we make it to 10. I don't know if we're going to get to 10. I have a strong feeling that we might just be at a really good 5.
Well, when you say make it to 10, you mean
that we're going to have the same 5
up significantly? I don't think so.
I don't know. Maybe not. We haven't, as you can tell, we haven't compared lists yet. So,
well, I do think that we're going to wind up with a lot of the same general things, but I have a serious doubt they're going to wind up with the same exact things. So
okay. We'll find out.
Let's get there. But before we get there, let's hear from the Herzog Foundation.
This episode of the Christian Principles Podcast is brought to you by the Herzog Foundation. As Christian educators, we know that liberty without truth is fragile, and truth starts with God. That's why the Herzog Foundation has launched the Faith and Freedom 250 campaign, an initiative that equips schools and families to connect the biblical roots of American freedom to the next generation. Having started on July 4th, 2025, and following through until July 3rd, 2026, Herzog is releasing short videos each Friday, highlighting voices from across the country, educators, leaders, parents, and everyday Americans, reflecting on key moments in our nation's history and the importance of commemorating 250 years of liberty. We all understand how faith has always been central to our country's founding and why it still matters today. It's an incredible way to integrate history, civics, and biblical worldview into your school's curriculum, especially as we approach America's 250th birthday in 2026. Visit herzogfoundation.com to view their free resources and get started today. And make sure to tell them that the fellas here at the Christian Principles Podcast sent you.
You know what? While we're at it, let's go ahead and hear from GradeLink Student Information Systems as well.
GradeLink's parent app helps families feel more connected to their child's education. They get real-time access to grades, attendance, and school news, making it easy to stay in the loop. Visit cpp.gradelink.com and see how it can bring your school community closer.
Bringing it back off those, I got to say, I'm excited for our upcoming list, Matt, and we have a list, truly a list beginning in August and stretching out through possibly March of 2027 of things that, because of our relationship with the Herzog Foundation, we're going to be able to do, including visiting Smith Mill, Missouri for the first time. We're flying in August 20th and 21st as part of a Christian Education Summit put on by the Iowa Association of Christian Schools. We couldn't be more excited that they're partnering with the Herzog Foundation, giving us our first opportunity to get out there and see the place. And we are pumped about that. But not only that, we're thankful for GradeLink, of course, because I do not have to handwrite grades in, and you do not have to chicken peck, because your typing skills is so good. You do not have to chicken peck on your keyboard Microsoft Word document report cards. You actually get to hit click, or you get to click
done.
And send, and boom, the template's created. It's done. It's good. It's beautiful. It's what you wanted. We're thankful. We are thankful on these days. Now, let's get to it. What are the top 10 things? So 5 apiece will come to our mind as the things that every Christian school administrator needs to make sure they do on their spring break. Do you want to go first? Do I want to go first? How are we going to do this?
I'm gonna let you go first.
All right, I'll
I
go
feel like
first.
I go first a lot.
I'm going to start with the spiritual one. We
Okay.
shouldn't begin anywhere else. And maybe you've already tuned me out because I said the spiritual one and not the spiritual six.
Ooh.
But I I'm going to go ahead and offer up the one which I usually have had a spring break which somehow corresponds with Easter. And often it included Easter as the spring break. So it was more of a Easter break, less less a spring break in March or something like that, or earlier March or whatnot. So my specific call for my administrators who do have Easter in their break is that after your Easter service, and maybe you can't do this Easter morning, maybe you got to wait till the evening if you have a service then, or maybe if you're not having this over Easter time, after one of your services, when theoretically you are as close to God, having fed on the word and been around his people, and you are as introspective as possible. Better yet, if you have had communion, if you have partaken in communion in that service, might I suggest you go and get lost in, I'll say nature. I'll say get lost in nature, even urban settings, hopefully have a park. If you have access to the Blue Ridge Mountains of South Carolina, if you have access to, the Appalachia, whatever it is you might have access to, go be there. Not because we're worshiping the creature more than creator, but because that's going to help you be unplugged and truly bare your soul to the Almighty in thanksgiving. Perhaps in supplication, perhaps hopefully not in imprecatory prayers, but at least in thanksgiving and joy. Find a way to alone. I don't really see this as being something that you do with somebody else. So again, I get it. I'm right there with you with the 4 kids. But if you can go and you can, bank some time with the significant other so you're able to take the time, consider offering the Lord this time. So there's my first one. Now, Matt, I'm guessing you have a spiritual one to offer as well. Is it anything like, what do you think?
It is get a secluded time in prayer. That's exactly what it is. Go get by yourself. Now, I would nuance my prayer time a little bit more. I mean, obviously, I 100% agree. Focus in on Thanksgiving, thinking of who God is and just singing his praises back to him. But I would say, especially at this time, a spring break, we no doubt have some really maybe serious burdens. So
Yes.
unpack
Yes.
those. And again, maybe it doesn't get to the level of imprecatory, but unpack it. And that, get that time where even if you can't, if all you can do is lock yourself away in a closet,
Yeah, maybe your nature is the broom
but
closet.
get somewhere where you're not going to be easily distracted. I mean, I probably won't be able to do it this year, but getting out to the beach and not being around people, but just completely able to focus your attention, your thoughts on the Lord, and it's going to help you refocus on your relationship with him, but then also place a lot of those cares right into his hands and come back rejuvenated from that. That was my number one. Yeah.
You say come back rejuvenated. You can't not.
Yeah, you can.
Because if you've truly cast your
Count on
care
it,
on
yeah.
him who cares for you,
Yeah.
it is one of the few things you can count on. So do it. And especially, I am probably more high churchy than I grew up in what I would appreciate about a church, what I appreciate about services. And so I think of Easter as that holiday above holidays, Christian holiday of holidays. And we, we may not be as quick to run to the Holy Week and those sorts of things, and we can have discussions about that, but we won't. But but I can appreciate that on that day of all days, though I know there's probably a ham dinner or whatever things it is that your family eats waiting on you. If there is a time to get away in this spring break time. Okay, so is that different enough to say we got 2? Or I think that sounds
I
like we
don't know.
just came
I
up
feel
with
like
number
that's
1.
still, I think that's a 1.
All right.
I'm counting that as a 1.
Okay, I gotta see. I gotta pick another one then. Let's pick another one. I'm gonna try to pick one that I don't think that you would have a have one for. Actually, no, reverse that. I'm gonna see if I can pick one I think you did
Okay, there we
include.
go.
All right, I'm gonna pick one I think you did include. I think that you probably included one which is a no screen day or perhaps 2. So 1, maybe 2 days, and it's just not just a no phone day, but it's a no screen day either. So while I'm saying that, you can't listen to our pod. I get that. Oh, well, yeah, you have like a TrackMan, I guess. Maybe you have a TrackMan CD player. I guess you have to pull it up and be
Oh,
or
gross.
no, that's also yeah. Forget it. Don't try to listen to us doing this. But a no screen day and possibly even 2. We tell our students this. We know it's good. We know it's good for us. We don't have to wonder. We know it's amazing for us. We know it's good for your family. We know it's good for our kids. So do it. A no screen day, possibly 2 of them. And the more serious you get about this, the more fun it is to do because it takes a lot nowadays. It takes a lot to plan a day. You're waking up. It's not your usual wake up because your phone's probably involved in that process. And if it's, hey, Alexa, turn on, well, if your Alexa has a screen, you better go and get your little Google Mini or whatever it happens to be instead because that's a screen. And perhaps you're used to catching the news in the morning or in your car, you have a screen on the way in. So that's got to stay on the clock. It can't be like your XM satellite radio. And then, whatever it is, you're headed, if you're going, you mentioned the beach, you're heading to the beach, you're heading to some place away. Going to the library, you got to contend with, shielding your eyes so you don't see the screens on the wall that have the announcements. Like it is a difficult thing to go screenless for a day.
Yeah,
But
it also
give
means
it
you
a
can't
shot.
look up the book at where it is in the library, right?
Oh, absolutely, yeah, dude. You have to go look through
Got it.
books to find it yourself. Yeah.
Do you still
So
have the Dewey Decimal System?
I
Can I
can
look through your
it won't help
card
me anyway,
catalog?
but do you still have it? I need to know. So do you have one in your top 5 that would be considered a no screen day or close to, or perhaps 2 no screen days?
I was gonna say I have a couple that probably maybe even 3 that connect in
Oh,
with
okay.
that one,
Okay.
but
Well, just give me
not
one.
that
Just give me one,
specific.
though.
But I'm gonna go with one that would go well with that one. We'll
Okay,
do that.
okay. Sounds good, sounds good.
Read a book.
All right, read a book. Yep.
Like, and it can't be a Kindle version. And I was thinking about that. Like, it does need to be the old
Feel that paper.
feel it,
Yeah.
smell it, And
Fall
here's
in
my
love
other
with it
rule.
again. Fall in love with it again, for real.
Yeah.
Just
Here's my other rule with
yeah.
the book. The book can't be
Professional
school
development.
related in the sense of professional development. We're setting that aside. If you're in the middle of one, great, you can finish it. That's fine. But just pure enjoyment, like and maybe I would even allow for a spiritual book where you're just looking for some encouragement or something to that effect, but not specifically to help you with this issue that you're dealing with at school, or you're preparing for teaching through something in the future. Unless, again, it's just something that you are excited about, you're in looking forward to, you can enjoy, just to, again, as a means of kind of disconnecting once again, and just getting into a book, getting into a good book.
I do like that. I don't have on here anything about reading, because I did think that in my no screen day, that'd probably be the first place I would turn is to
Sure.
go, okay, and I'm now going to, I've done that a couple times in my life. It's been a full book in a day. I've done that a couple times, and I know those times, and as far as getting through a book and remembering it, those are the books I remember some of the best, of course, because I went through them in a day. So, okay,
Yeah.
I think we gave you 1, and that was both 2 and 3. So let's go on to number 4 now. I have here another one that I think you would. Okay, this might be one you have. Do a date day with your significant other. Now, I apologize if you are Valentine's Day solo. I do. I apologize if that's the case, not because I feel bad for you, but because this one doesn't apply to you necessarily. So maybe you change this one to make it, make sure you grab your best friend and you go do something for an entire day. But here, and for the rest of this, my description would be do a date day. So for me, that means my kids get left behind. It is a full day. I am going breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That might be it could well be that I had to drop them off at the babysitter's house because there's so much money going out to the babysitter that I can't do anything else besides stay home. But at least it would be a date day at home with my significant other, with the wife. Maybe it's not. Maybe you can actually take that time and go somewhere if you don't have a vacation. But even on a vacation, though, let's be honest, even on a vacation during spring break, that doesn't mean it's going to be a date day with your significant other. And they're probably the one who's best supported you. And when I think of this date day, I do think of it you getting to exercise those administrative creative powers and saying, "Hey, I'm creating this day for us." So the burden is on you to go create this day. It's not they create this day for you. It's you do the things like you were dating again that you know they would like to do, and you go figure out a way to make that happen carefully. Um, you know, spend some money, do it. That's why you earn it. If it's there, you could be doing this for free. I understand. Hopefully, not losing money on the deal, but overall, do a date day with your significant other.
Again, this is going to be very close,
Ooh,
and even kind of close with both of your last ones. So I have disconnect and reconnect with family.
okay.
So you're disconnecting from everything else. Everything else gets put on pause, and you're giving your full attention to your family. And I even brought in friends. So you can do family and friends if,
Okay.
as you said, maybe you're not in a situation with a spouse or kids, and granted, you've got parents, so you can focus on them or just some close friends. But do spend time, and I guess that's maybe the one I was thinking. That's kind of the natural go to on a spring break. You're just going to be spending time that you don't ordinarily have with your family. But the disconnect is really important with that, because it can be easy to sometimes still be thinking about work, or wanting to have some conversations over break. So that's where I would say, throw the phone somewhere so that it's not going to be a distraction from something that you have planned, or even if it is just you're going to be at home, you are fully invested
Mm.
with the family there.
Fully invested with the family, and especially if Easter's involved, that's probably going to be happening at some point anyway. But I do something. But when I hear you say that, we know that administrators oftentimes we are the ones who have to be there for the ones who maybe don't have somebody in the school. We're actively looking for those students, and yeah, those faculty and staff members too, who don't have somebody, and we're putting ourselves out there. Perhaps we're putting our family and our homes out there to make sure they get invited somewhere. So it could be that this is a time that you say, while that is my God called duty to do during this break, I am going to take time to not necessarily invite everybody, but instead the ones that I am closest with. And this is going to be a rallying time. There's going to be a centering time for the ones that are very close to me, the ones that I truly am I'm not going to be working while I'm having the dinner. And by working, I mean, again, this sacrilegious is not the right word, but this could get seemingly anti-biblical quickly if I'm saying like cut off people, or it's a job, or it's a problem to have to engage with anybody, because that's never what Christ did, and we know that. I'm not saying that, but we know that we seem to know that there were several disciples that Christ loved and was closer to, perhaps, and he took time and he went to the home, the Mary and Martha home. He would cry over Lazarus. He would go to those homes where he was most invited to, most loved. Is that a way to say it? And when I hear you say reconnect with some people, maybe this is the time where you really, again, it's not that you're cutting the other ones out, but you are being very particular about the ones you are offering and freely giving this time to. Whereas otherwise, it is not that case, and you are quick to bring somebody else in who needs somebody, and that's good, and we ought to. If you're not doing that, shame. I openly saying, if you're not doing that, shame on you, and you need to start doing that. Absolutely.
Remember, ministry is all the time. So even as you were talking through how Christ worked, Christ purposed time away. And even in that time away, the people followed. And he didn't be like, hey, no, this is vacation. Get out of here. We don't got time for you. That's because that's how Jesus spoke. He continued to
That's
minister.
not what The Chosen sounded like. It didn't sound
Oh,
like that
was
at
it?
all.
I'm sorry. I must watch a different version.
That's what version is.
No, seriously.
Straight out of Scranton.
He did. Even in vacation time, he turned around and said, "Well, let's feed these 5,000 people."
Mm-hmm. Let's do it.
That's what it was.
Okay. I feel we definitely have one that was the same. I think 2 and 3 are different. I think 4 and 5 were different enough to say we got a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. So let me hit you with number 4 for me. I'll save that one. I'll keep this is the one I'll go to next. Go to Camden Yards. So
Yeah,
for
I don't
me, what
have
does
that one.
For me, what does that represent? For me, going to Camden Yards, where the Baltimore Orioles, that is the home of the Baltimore Orioles, that is me actively going far out of my way. And that's me spending money. Those are things which perhaps you don't necessarily include in a spring break, but I would say if you have had a thought about going and seeing a place or getting to a place, but you've had thoughts of money or you've had thoughts of time spent on it, make a day to do that. Go do that thing. And I'm not calling you to be crazy with spending. No one's saying go be stupid. No one's saying go in debt. This Camden Yards is not a $5,000 shopping spree, okay? Camden Yards, depending on the seat, could be, a high ticket price maybe. And maybe I try Boogs out in center field, where usually I would stop at Wawa on the way in and grab a $6 hoagie. I'm going to go spend money on a $15 sandwich at Boogs out on center field, and I'm going to smell it, and I'm going to feel it, and I'm going to feel bad 2 seconds later. I'm like, that was stupid, spent too much money on a sandwich, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to get the Krabby Tacos like my brother did on Saturday. Maybe you go to Camden Yards, and you go ahead and you spend some money purposefully at a place that you've been wanting to spend money and be at and go to, that's out of your way, that is hopefully re-energizing for you and just enjoyable. Perhaps it's not don't think of it as re-energizing. Perhaps just think of it as I know I'm going to enjoy this. This is my thing. I collect Pokemon. I don't collect Pokemon cards, but maybe you do. So maybe it's the Pokemon convention 2 hours away. And so you're going there. If I'm offending anybody with saying Pokemon, I apologize. Maybe it's, model trains. I don't know what it is that you want to do, but take a day, take time to go to Camden Yards. Matt?
Yeah, I don't have that one.
All right, then number 6. Matt, number 7.
So is I guess it's closely associated with that time away where you're spending with the Lord. It could be done kind of at the same time, I guess, but revisit some personal goals.
Ooh.
Maybe you've already established some New Year's resolutions back in January. How are you doing on those? Pull them out. Look at them. Spring break tends to be a better time for me anyway, to be able to say, okay, what do I want to accomplish this year? We see where we are thus far and how we're doing or not doing. So what are some goals that I can set for myself personally? We're not talking about necessarily professionally, unless, that is going to involve maybe some future schooling or something to that effect. But then plan out some purposeful events, perhaps in the summertime. I'm not necessarily thinking spring break. So you're jumping right into go do it. I'm more thinking, hey, what do I want to accomplish? And take the time off in spring break to just put all the pieces together to make sure it's there, it's ready, it's happening for you personally, for what's just going to help you be a stronger, better leader in the future. Again, enjoyment is going to be a big part of that. Something that you maybe have a bucket list and there's something that you can check off of that list. I don't know, go to Hawaii or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, that would be
Jimmy.
That would be my thing, is set some personal goals.
Okay, set some personal goals. Revisit the goals you set at New Year's if you haven't done that. Okay, so that would be 1. Then we gave 2, 3, then 4, 5. That would be 6, 7. 6, 7, 6, 7.
Oh my!
I don't think you're gonna have my number 8. I really don't. I saved it for last. Number 8, Mark's number 5. This is the first one I thought of. Don't hate me. Get back into the school building just long enough to feel okay and not crazy on your return day. Oh, I said it. Maybe you did a wonderful job before you left. And it wasn't crazy before you left, and you had plenty of time, and you didn't have to rush out of the building because your family was on its way to 2 states away to get there for family. Probably not, though. Probably not. So, hate's a strong word. I generally dislike the modern language of allow yourself to XYZ, but I'm gonna use that right now. Allow yourself to believe it to be okay to give a little bit of time back to the workplace to make sure you're not crazy when you return. Now, I did write in caps when I wrote this down, just long enough. You gotta be honest with yourself. And maybe that's where a spouse or a coworker comes in and they really help you out. I'll give you an hour.
It's time.
I'm going shopping while you live for an hour, but I will drag you by your hair out of that building if you are not done in an hour. And they're like, okay, that's fine. That's fine. Like, just give me an hour and I can make sure that I have a list of things ready to go for the Monday, the Tuesday return, whatever it happens to be. So, do you have anything like that one, Matt?
You know, I had contemplated something
Okay.
like that,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna go complete opposite and say, this is actually the first thing I wrote down. Just
Okay.
rest.
All right.
And
Rest, yeah.
specifically and I say rest because number one, I feel like we as administrators tend to be the people who are so concerned with everybody else, we don't think about ourselves. And because of that, we neglect some of the things that we really need. And so rest may not necessarily be just, get a couple naps in over the break. Doesn't hurt, but maybe rest for you would be heading to the gym a little bit more than you normally do, or going on a couple extra walks if the weather's good. Maybe it is just spending extra time in the Word. There are many different ways to rest, and so when I say rest, I also wrote on here rest well, like not just wasteful. I don't know if there's wasteful rest, but get your energies, because this is now the long haul. This is finishing the rest of the
Final
year
push.
strong, and not just that. For me, this final push isn't necessarily the energy zapper. The summer sometimes is that energy zapper, and there's not another time unless you've scheduled like a nice vacation or something right after school's over before you have to come back and get next year up and running. That summer can really zap you, and this break might be that break before all of that, the final part of the year, getting into the summertime, into the next school year. So rest so that you're ready to meet all that head on.
Rest. I say go back to work. You say rest. That's nice though. We got lots of people that listen to us, Lord willing, so they can take from that what they'd like to.
I don't disagree with you. Let me
Yeah.
just say this: I don't disagree with you at all. In fact, I will do that. And a lot of people get upset with it. Stay out of the office, but when your office is also where you go to church, you're going to be going in and be like, is it clean in here? No, it never is. But
we didn't say clean our office. That probably.
Yeah.
That's probably something that would do most people a lot of good. Okay, we got to keep moving though. That was fun. If we're going to recap Art 5, we started out with after service, go get lost with God, and you roughly had a similar one, go get lost with God. But then the rest were different enough to be different. It was no screen day, or consider perhaps 2 no screen days. What was your next one?
Read a book.
Read a book. And then it was do a date day with your significant other. And you had...
disconnect and reconnect with your family.
Yeah, then I said go to Camden Yards, which was largely spend money on something and plan something that you enjoy. Lots of you
Mhm.
here. Again, not trying to be overly selfish or anything like that, but just what we're doing. Go ahead, Matt. You're up.
Revisit your goals or
And then
come up with some.
there you go. That's right. Or plan one or the other. And then the last one was back into school just long enough to feel okay and not go crazy on your return day.
Just rest.
It said just rest. Wonderful. We're going back to Perry Hall Christian School tonight, and our Christian administrator spotlight rests upon Miss Kate Fisher. Miss Kate Fisher holds a bachelor's degree in history, secondary education from Salisbury University. Woo woo! We know there. We live there. And then she got a master's in ed from Towson, also in Maryland. She has 2 sons, enjoys spending time with them and her husband, doing anything outdoors, especially in the water. Kate, I'm going to pray for you tonight because Matt usually prays all the time. Father in heaven, I thank you for who you are. I thank you that you've given us a job which largely includes, or for many of us includes, some sort of break like this. May we use it wisely. May Kate use it wisely. May she feel anything that you need her to feel during this time. We would expect that would be rest, but Lord, you know, and you have a plan. So might she be empowered to use it wisely, perhaps even planning how she's going to use out this break so that she is stronger on her return and Perry Hall is stronger for her being there. Lord, we love you. Bless Kate as well as Dina and the rest of the staff that we've already prayed for there at Perry Hall Christian School. We're thankful for their ministry. We love you. Amen. All right, folks, if you haven't, please make sure you follow us, especially because you got some extra time coming up in your spring break. But now on your no screen day, go unplug. All right, thanks for growing with us today.
We want to thank you for listening. We're honored that you spend this time with us each week. Our heart is to bring you practical conversations and resources that really serve you as a Christian school leader. One of the best ways you can help us spread the word is by leaving us a review and sharing the podcast with other Christian school principals you're connected with. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Join the conversation and share any posts that resonate with you. Every share makes a difference in helping more leaders find encouragement and practical tools. And remember, the podcast is just one way we help. We also love serving schools through speaking and workshops. Our keynotes and sessions are designed to give you actionable strategies you can take back to your team and implement right away. If you'd like more details, just send us an email at info@christianprinciplespodcast.com. We'd love to connect. Until next time, thanks for joining us on the Christian Principles Podcast.